Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another video with Electra Soul. With Electra Soul, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Spiritual Monday video with me. If you're new to my channel, I'm a psychic medium, a spiritual life coach, and just a spiritual girl. I'm putting everybody on alongside a whole lot of other things. And yes, I do coaching, I do readings, I do all that great jazz. What's up guys? Okay, so today in this video, I am thrilled to talk about a topic I mentioned in last week's Spiritual Monday video. And the reason I want to talk about this today is because I remember I mentioned it. Hey guys, I mentioned it and I was about to answer more questions about it and all this other stuff. And I was like, we should wait until next week so that I can actually dive into talking about it. So I'm going to talk about it until the topics run out, right? And then I'm going to answer what y'all are saying. Hey guys, in the chat. Okay. So past lives, guys. I understand from some sort of like religious POVs that believing in past lives is completely subjective, right? But I'm not going to sit here and act like they're not real because no matter what you believe in, they are real. And the reason that you know that and the reason that people can feel that is because, well, the reason you know that is because people can feel that, okay? So whether you believe in reincarnation or not, it's just something where maybe there's not even a science to basically describe what the phenomenon is, right? Like you don't even understand how that's possible and all this other stuff. But if you do have a strong connection to your spiritual self and you believe in the ways of this universe, which I assume we all do, because if we're all law of assumptioners, like that's something that you basically trust that God, the universe, Allah, anything that you believe in is going to grant you what you're saying that you do have, right? Now, the whole thing would be it's because it's you, right? So God works through you because you are God within your reality, you're the universe, you're everything within yourself. You're able to create what it is that you want within your reality. And that's the best part is that you really do call the shots in whatever way that you want specific things. All right, so whatever you choose to believe in, obviously, it makes up your reality. But if you choose to believe in the best, you do get the best. And the same thing goes with literally everything in this life. It's not just about positive and negative manifestations or whatever. It's just the overall way that you perceive this life and how it reflects back to you because of what you're choosing to perceive within your reality. So with past lives, the thing is that people can feel what it is that perhaps they felt attached to within past lives. I've seen it a lot. I've done many past life readings for other people, right? I've done a lot of past life readings about where people have come from. Usually this stems from their most recent lifetime because to me, it's not that it's more relevant because it's not generally more relevant than any other past life, but it's like the most recent past life has the most connection to the person that you are today because it's a direct transfer of you glowing up spiritually speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like you get better. Obviously, you undergo a bunch of other stuff. You've had this whole other life in a whole other life before. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a whole different person, male, female, whatever it is, whatever your name was, race, anything, like everything was different. And what even if you're like the same gender, same race and all that other stuff, it's never the same ever, okay? Because you know all types of different people. You're on a whole different spiritual life journey. You know, like you're learning a lot through your experiences, and this greatly shifts you as the person that you are. And that's why in this lifetime, when you come here, well, let's say in the most present lifetime, let's say you have incarnated and you're here right now and you're obviously in this day and age, like you see everything that's happening, whatever, there's a reason why you're here, just like you've always been ever before. And you know, with the feeling of knowing that you were connected to some sort of past life before, even knowing that you have a past life, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen so many videos, maybe, but I've seen a lot of videos like that in more recent times, which is so funny because the videos I'm talking about are the ones where children talk about their past lives. It's so funny to me because I remember I believed in past lives so long ago. And I'm talking about when I was like a teenager, when I was a kid. I always believed in it because I always felt a very deep connection to I just know this is not my first time. Like you know when this is not your first time on earth, bro. Like I promise you, you know. Seriously, that term old soul it's a real thing. Like it's a very real thing. And most people have been here at least once before. I feel like the people who are newer are honestly the people who I low key feel like are people who lack a bit of emotional intelligence in the way that they don't connect with anything. You know what I mean? But not like into the extent of like boredom or, oh, I outgrew my friend group or whatever. I'm talking about to the extent of not being able to see the deeper meaning of everything in life, like being able to see what the connection is between two different things, right? Like you're not having a very strong spiritual awareness, or I guess you wouldn't say it's like emotional intelligence. I mean, it could be linked to that too as well, because I feel like that does have a lot to do with the way that you perceive things, like the way that you feel about things. But I feel like the younger souls are people who deliberately choose to be like very egotistical. That's like my personal opinion, because it's not always like that. I feel like it's more of people who are choosing not to progress on purpose. And what I mean by that is that they have ways to get better. They have ways to perceive things better. They have ways to become stronger, and they're choosing not to like they know it too. Okay, they know it too, but they're choosing not to because they're very afraid, or because it just makes them feel uncomfortable or whatever, but they know that they can do it, but they're choosing not to. I guess even in that case, though, it does show growth, because I feel like a truly young soul would genuinely think there's no other way. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Like they wouldn't even be open to the possibility of maybe things can like really, like be bigger than the way that they are right now. But I feel like someone who's a little bit older as a soul may feel that same way, but they still have like a sense of somehow though, like I can do this somehow. Like I can get out of here somehow. I can manifest that somehow. I don't know how, but like I feel like there's maybe a way. And maybe the person never discovers it in that lifetime by choice usually, right? Because usually these things happen by choice. I feel like we're always given a way to get better in every single lifetime. I feel like we're always shown signs, and it's up to us to listen to them, because I know that I've seen a lot of signs within my own life many years ago that I would honestly ignore out of fear. And that I remember knowing I was ignoring signs. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that I was deliberately choosing to not pay attention to what I was seeing in front of me because of fear, because that means that you're going to get better. It means that you're going to progress and all this other stuff. And it may make you feel a little bit nervous to actually progress in such a grand way, but everyone deserves to get better. Okay. Now back to everything else. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos. All right. So the videos of children talking about past lives. I've talked to children, not many children. I actually have like a TikTok that I filmed a few years ago, and it went like really viral, about this child who I used to babysit. And she recited to me her entire past life from the age of like 4 or 5. And every time I would ask her, now she's a little bit older. She's like 7 or 8, I think. Oh my gosh, how old is she? I think yeah, she's 8. Um, she she remembers her past life still, but it's not as clear, if that makes sense. I remember when I first talked to her about it, she was telling me the same details over and over again. She never skipped a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember that, of course, children can come up with a lot of like funny stories or whatever, but there's a difference between a kid who's making up a story and a child who is reciting something that they feel that they remember. You know what I'm saying? Almost with a sort of conviction that gives you a lot of clarity over what it is that they're saying. You know what I'm saying? If you had any doubts, it's like they clear it up for you. So I remember I spoke to like a child or two who remembered their past life. The first one was my cousin, and she remembered a little bit. She had like a dream about it. And the second child is the child I would babysit. And the whole thing with that though is like with the past life thing is that you remember these things, and you still do, okay? I know that some people say, "Oh, only when you're a child you can really remember." That's not true. That's definitely not true. I remember my past life very well, and it's because I chose to dive really deep into it. It was my choice to I completely like meditated into it. I did everything I could to look into my past lives because I really wanted to know what was going on before. And I remember that I would do this and I would see vividly what it was that went on before. And I would have all my questions answered. I would ask questions to myself, and then I would see the answers in my meditative state. And it would repeat that way. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you do it one time and then you do it a second time and the details are different, or, kind of like it's not like a fantasy, basically. It's actually real. Like you're literally seeing things that your soul remembers that you don't consciously remember in this lifetime, because as you're going on throughout these lifetimes and everything else like that, it's not that your memories are getting erased. That's not it at all. It's that your ego is kind of new to the environment that you're in, right? So your soul remembers literally everything about everything, okay? Your soul knows everything too. So if you meet someone who you swear, like your ego's like this person is the nicest person I've ever known, holy shit, but you can feel that something's not so nice about them, but you kind of ignore that because they've shown so much that they're so nice, but you just feel like something's off. Your soul still knows what's up. Like even if you deny it and you're like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know what it is. No, like your soul still knows exactly what it is. And that goes the same thing for everything else in this life. Um, we usually always know things before they actually happen too, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Like our souls know that these things and our egos don't catch up all the way because our egos are here to kind of like protect us from any kind of surprise, basically, right? So you may be afraid that I don't know, for example, you may have an intuition that something may go another way, right? But you don't listen to that because it's not something that you're consciously thinking about, but you can feel that. It's the same thing. So, as well with past lives, your ego may have everything kind of restarted in this lifetime as a brand new person, you're a whole new person. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what's logically correct because you're born into this reality. You have a whole new name, different parents, you're a baby. Like, hello. I mean, you can't really sit there and be like, oh, yeah, I remember. I mean, you can as a child be like, oh, I remember when I was grandpa or whatever. I'm sure you guys have seen the stories, like I was stating, but it's just not something that's naturally going to come to you where you're just going to say those things. You're going to feel them, but you may not say them, of course. And then as time goes on, you kind of just forget because as your ego grows in this lifetime, you're growing into the person that you are. So you become stronger with your identity throughout this lifetime. And then everything else that happened before kind of gets more and more repressed, but it's still completely accessible. So, like I was stating, if you really want to know what your past life is all about, I highly recommend getting on YouTube and looking up a past life regression. And I mean, actually do everything that you can to lock into it because I know for myself, I easily got into it because I was very, very passionate about learning about my past lives. And I've learned about more than one. Like there's a lot of past lives that I've learned about, but excuse me, but by choice. Like I chose to look into these things because I wanted to see the kinds of people I knew, the connections I had, what I've been through, and the things that I've seen. Oh my goodness, it's like unbelievable because once you do this, you will feel such a connection to the kind of person that you were before, where even the things that you see that you've gone through and experienced, it's almost like you will feel as though you are not now experiencing them, but almost like you remember. You know what I'm saying? It's a very interesting and unique feeling. It's very cool, but it's like you genuinely remember having gone through something like this before. And I've seen a lot of things, like I stated for myself, where I was totally blown by the concept of I can't believe I went through that because it was there's a lot of stuff in my past lives that are not so grand, which is fine by me because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if it's because I have like a Scorpio Mars in the eighth house or what, or like I don't know if it's just because I like this kind of stuff in life. I like the beautiful things and I like the dark things too. Like I like to see every corner of this life because I understand that there has been an experience with all of these things at least once on this earth. So I learned about so many different very tragic things that happened to me in my past lives that I remember being very shocked by in a way when I first learned about it. But I'm going to tell you guys like a really brief story. Okay, so recently, not too recent, but within the last year, I remember that I mean, my whole life, I've always said, like, "I swear to you, I know what X, Y, and Z feels like." I would say, like, "I swear to you, I know what that kind of death feels like." You know what I'm saying? Like, I would see a death on a movie or whatever, like something like that. I always get very, very connected. I feel very connected to things that happen to other people in even the most tragic ways. If I see something on TV or something real life or things like that, I feel personally very connected to those things in the way that I want to understand how that person underwent such a thing, what their mind was telling them when it happened, how their soul felt, how their ego felt, and like almost like the disconnect between this physical and spiritual world, and then how it kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It's like the transition from death to or from life to death, right? So I remember within the last year, I just knew that I had undergone something very tragic in a past life, right? And I didn't have any details, but I knew by the way that I felt, I remember I was just like, "I know that I've had some sort of experience with this," right? I know what it feels like to be in a situation like this. And I remember that as I was saying that, I started to, like, cry, right? And I remember I was like, "Oh my goodness, like, I can't believe I'm crying." I remember just being kinda shocked that I was crying because it just felt so personal, and then as I started crying, then I was like, "Alright, I wanna know what happened." Like, I wanna know what happened in this past life that's making me feel this way, and things like that, or, like, what happened, basically, because I didn't know what actually happened, but I wanted to know what happened, so I looked into it, and as the answers were coming to me, spiritually speaking, like, I saw everything and I was actually accepting it because I remember I was very hesitant. I was getting very mad before too. I was getting very reactive, almost like, how could something like that happen to someone? You know, like getting very angry and things like that because it felt very personal to me. And then as I unravel and see all this stuff play out, some of the stuff that it's just like your ego never wants to think about. Like you never want to think that you've gone through something like that. You never want to think that you've seen such crazy things like that. But it was still something that I learned a lot from. Like I saw it myself and I was like, geez, oh my gosh. Like it's crazy to think that a person like me could have gone through something like that. But it also goes to show just how strong everyone in this reality is. Everyone, because even if not more than once, I do believe everyone has gone through something really crazy in a past life before, and that has dramatically shifted them as a soul, right? It's made them grow in crazy freaking ways. And the reason I find that so fascinating is because I feel like I'm not saying that pain is necessary because I don't believe it's necessary. As y'all know, the law of assumption, like we know that it's not necessary. But I will say that from the people who just kind of go throughout life, and maybe some people do get hurt and things like that, it's something where I've seen has enormously added to their transformation in some cases, right? Again, this is only specific people. Not everybody has to go through things like this. I know a lot of people who've had very easy lives and it makes me very happy. And I feel like some of the people, I feel like not always, but I'll just say this. I feel like some people who have gone through really shitty things in past lives, and what I mean by shitty, I mean like really crazy things. I don't want to make it seem like pessimistic. I just want to let y'all know that. I don't want to make it seem like a negative thing because it's not what it is. It's not to like damper the mood or anything. This is literally just an open-minded discussion about the way that I perceive past lives and how in tune I admire being with people's pain so that I can understand what it is that everyone has gone through in every way, every single way, shape, and form. I want to feel it all, like not literally, but I want to understand it all. And I've seen it all. And that to me is what makes me happy because I want to understand what helps people transform. But that's the thing is like the transformation comes through so much growth. And the same thing goes for vice versa. If you have experienced in mind altering, soul changing kind of love in a past life, that's something that follows you. So it's something that you continue to see. You reunite with these people. When you feel like you've known people before, it's because you literally have. And that's something that does not go lightly. It's not like a one night stand kind of thing. Like, I think I met you in a past life. No, like it's literally, I feel like I know you. Like, we have some sort of connection here. And that's usually how it always goes with people like that. You meet somebody and you just know that there was something there with that person before, and it doesn't have to be romantic. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying in general, there are just so many different connections in this universe that tie together all throughout your different lives that you have, and that makes you into the person that you are today, alongside you recognizing the kind of love that you've had before and how much more you can make of it now, and basically learning from every past life experience that you've had to make yourself even better and greater and everything else that you are today. Because I mean, you genuinely are the creator of your reality. That's something that I don't think many people knew in past lives, I feel. And when I say past lives again, I mean more of people from a very different time that believed in a lot of different things. You know, I think to myself, like, it's crazy to think that we're in such a place now in our realities where we see how limitless we really are by choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really see how we can make a lot of things happen. And not everyone knew that, but a lot of people did. A lot of people paved the way, but it's people like you and I who continue to help people understand that so that even when or if they reincarnate one day, right? If someone decides to go on to another life or anything else like that, give them these helpful soul tips, like tips that their souls can take with them to the next lifetime, and they will naturally learn to get in touch with that concept for themselves so that they can practice that in a future lifetime. You know what I'm saying? It's just something you never forget in your heart because you've loved people before. You come into this life and you love people. You've been in arguments with people before. You come into this lifetime and maybe you have the same arguments with, not the same arguments, but different arguments with the same souls. Or maybe you love the same souls a lot harder than you have before. Things like that. Like there's a lot of different things that just go hand in hand. And the reason I'm also saying really fast why I'm mentioning like all areas of life, whether it's death or rebirth, you know what I'm saying? Like love and happiness and all this other stuff. The reason I'm including everything is because I just feel like everyone's life in past lives were so plentiful, right? And the same thing goes for this lifetime. There's a lot of people who have very, 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 of course, very interesting current lives, but one day that life could become a past life too. You know what I'm saying? Like one day, if a person passes away, they choose to reincarnate in a future lifetime. The lifetime that they've had during this time will be a past life to them then. And I just think that it's like everything that you've been through, everything that you've discovered, everything that you've learned, all that stuff has made you into the person that you are today. And it's something that's super, it's just, it will never not blow my mind. I absolutely love learning about past lives and I love learning about my own past lives and just like everything that I know that I am now because of what I've been through in many lifetimes before. And it's just, it's so crazy because the kind of person I was when I was a child does very strongly reflect one of the versions of myself that I was in a past life, like my most recent past life. And I don't know, it's just like something you can feel. Like something I always knew since I was a child is I always knew that I was a male in my most recent past life. And lo and behold, like I looked into it and I saw very clearly like yes, I was certainly a male and it was more than freaking obvious that I was like I just feel like it was so obvious. Like you could just feel these things. Same thing goes for everyone. There's a lot of people that I've met who've traveled to places in the world that they've never been to, and when they're there, they're like, "This feels so familiar to me. Why does it feel so it just feels like I've been here before." I've literally heard someone say that, and I'm talking about a woman who's in her 50s, and she's never been to I don't know where she went exactly, but I know it was a country she's never been to, and she was just like, "I feel like I've been here before, like, have you ever felt that way?" This person asked my mom, and yeah, I mean, it's, like, absolutely amazing. It's something that's definitely very connecting, but I want you guys to really think about these things just for yourself. Just have a general self-reflection over your life and your reality because it just will continue to add up into making sense about more of the person that you are today and also more of what you can discover about yourself throughout the lifetime that you live now and even in other lives that you've had before. These are all things that again you can learn so much from, and I just think it's I mean, no, like it's always open for discussion. Like I'm always open to talk about these things and I always find these things extremely interesting. And if you guys have any questions, you have to let me know, of course. But with that being said, guys, that's basically it for this topic right now. Wow, I spoke for 23 minutes. That's crazy. But I'm going to read y'all's comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be here on Thursday and next Monday. Next Monday for Spiritual Monday video and this Thursday for a law of assumption based video. But of course, guys, love you so freaking much. Thank y'all for everything. Now let's read them up. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, someone said, I feel like I've experienced pieces of past lives within vivid dreams. Heavy on that. So vivid dreams are, I think, one of the bigger gateways, honestly, to give you more insight on past lives. I feel like vivid dreams are extremely telling of the stuff that you don't consciously recognize, but that your soul still remembers. And that translates. So when you have vivid dreams of certain things, of scenarios that have happened, and usually when you're a different person, especially, I feel like anytime a person is a different person physically in a dream, it's like the biggest giveaway. It's the biggest freaking giveaway. My sister recently had a past life dream and she was like a grown man. My sister, bro, and she was just like when she told me the dream, I told her I said that is definitely a past life and she said I know. Like I literally know. I was like, "Yeah, bro, that's so amazing." But it's just things like that, like they always come through and they always make themselves presentable to you because it's again what your soul still knows. You know what I'm saying? Like you're still you. Nothing has changed. I mean, I'm sure plenty has changed, but you know what I mean? Like your soul is still the same essence. So it's very amazing. Do you believe that all past and future are simultaneously concurrently happening in the present? Okay. I do believe that. I believe no, I do believe that. I feel like everything happens at the same time. I feel like it's not as crazy as it sounds, if that makes sense. Like I feel like some people think that I don't know, almost like how could that be? Because you have to still make choices and this, that. But I believe everything is like predestined, but also up to your choice. So I believe that we all have hella choices to make. And these choices, we will end up making the ones that we want to make based on our own free will. You feel me? Like we have the power in our realities to still make whatever choice we make. But even with those choices, I believe that these choices are still pre made, if that makes sense. So I believe that we still already made these choices, but there's still going to be choices that we wanted to make. So, yeah, I do believe that it's all happening at the same time. I do believe that almost like there's no such thing. I don't know, it's almost like comforting to think that the future hasn't happened yet, but I feel like the future has happened, but it's still comforting. I feel like they're comforting in different senses. It's comforting to think that the future hasn't happened yet in the sense that, "Oh, wow, I can be anything." Like it can really just be anything for me. But I feel like that's more from a limited sense. I feel like it's very cool to think that the future's happening now because it's also saying, but I made those wonderful decisions right now, so it's reflected already. That's more of how I see it. I see it more of like I decided on this, so it is already. So, like the future's basically now. And if that should make you very happy. It makes me very happy to think that that's the amount of freedom that we have. Like we have a lot of freedom in our choices on this earth. Thank you, cute necklace, that's really sweet. Yeah, you didn't miss the live, period, and honestly, even if you do I've been trying to come on earlier, honestly, but I end up doing, like, a lot of things, so I end up coming a little bit later, but even then, it's not that late. I mean, it's not that late at all, not in my opinion. This aligns with some NDE based stuff, sent to Earth with the roadmap for spiritual growth. Exactly. Oh my gosh, exactly. That's exactly what it is. That's what this life is all about. It's like a spiritual roadmap and you're just going along your way. And whatever it is, it is. And I mean, it's just all for soul growth. I feel like that's so evident. And I'm so glad that things are being exposed in that way because I want people to really understand that. I remember that people were a lot more hesitant and very more against that idea because it was too illogical, but there's literally nothing illogical about it. Spirituality is the most important thing, I think. I mean, of course, well, no, yeah, spirituality, because spirituality leads back to your physical health, your mental health, emotional, everything. Like even your financial health, all this stuff links back to your mindset, which creates your reality. So it's honestly, when your spirituality is good, you're good. The way that you feel about yourself, the way that you honor yourself as a spirit, if you stand up for yourself, things like that, that leads back to everything else that manifests for you. Um, I hate that I ignored those signs. I know what you mean, but don't hate it. Honestly, it's fine. You did it for a reason and you probably won't do it again because you learned your lesson. You feel me? It's okay. There's no reason to like be upset. I'm just saying like for all of us, let's not cry over spilt milk, thankfully. You feel me? Like we can always do better and that's a great thing to know and remember. Um, do you think carrying is I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry. What you mean by that? Hold on, let me see. Oh, okay, you wrote, "Hey, Electra, you look like Tinkerbell today." That's funny. The green in this, yeah, the space buns, super cute. It's so funny. Do you think carrying shame or pain from past lives can actually go away with meditation or yes, or spiritual practices, or you have to live and heal that? That's honestly entirely up to your choice. But yes, absolutely. I've done it. I've done it in meditations and other stuff like that. I've done a lot of things to help heal myself through things that I've been through before where I could have been like totally scarred by those things and let them bring me down and all this other stuff. But no, if you ever want to heal something, you can just heal it by yourself in your bedroom, meditation, a journal. Honestly, I was thinking about doing something like that, like maybe just writing out all of how I feel about certain things and stuff like that. And then maybe I will, because I feel like this might be a sign, honestly. Everything is a sign, so maybe I will. But yes, I do believe you can do that. And you don't have to you can live and just heal that naturally through you living your life, but you can still do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like a vice versa thing. It's just more of what you allow for yourself. It's what you feel. If you feel you just want to keep on living and let life heal it, it will. But if you want to write it out and, feel how you feel all the way through in that way, you can absolutely also do that and that will also help. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, boo. I have also treaded the waters of learning about someone with emotional pain for self-discovery, but I don't think it's for everyone. Heavy on that. People with a lot of pain tend to project it outwards, and it isn't a piece of cake to absorb and heal after that, even with good intentions going into it in the first place. Brilliant. Hold on. Me saying that, okay. Yes, yes. I'm happy you said that. Thank you, Mickey, Mike D. Mike DV Music, yes, like, you're literally completely right. That's exactly how I feel about it. That's also why I don't talk about these things, like, too much and to the extent of constantly talking about it. It's because I know, like, yes, you're correct. It's something that I've learned so much from people's pains, but I've had to learn about what comes with that. I remember being a child, and I was always, like, the kind of person who was very nice. Like, I was I don't wanna say too nice, but, like, yeah, I was, like, literally way too nice. I remember I was, like, a huge pushover in the sense that just people thought they could kinda take advantage of me because I was very nice. But I remember that I would be friends with people who were just kind of not in the right mind. And I'm talking as children, right? So I'd be 8 years old and I had this friend who was also 8, but she just was not okay, right? And it was because she had a lot of pain in her life and stuff like that. But the thing is that I let her use me as like a fucking punching bag basically. And it was just kinda something that I learned a lot from her pain, and I remember that at the time, I honestly just wanted to get away from her because I didn't wanna learn from her at the time. You know, I was 8, like, who the fuck wants to deal with that when you're a kid? I remember I was just like, "Bro, like, she's hella toxic." I didn't know what that meant. I didn't even say the word. That's not what I said. I was just like, "She's, like, mean." That's what I would always say. I'd be like, "Bro, she's, like, so fucking mean." But she, like, relied on me a lot to it was, like, very codependent. I didn't know better, obviously, but I remember she just leaned on me a lot to kind of, like, let out her anger, and I remember just always feeling her wrath, and I was so used to people like that who were always so angry, so I just knew a lot of people who had issues in that sense, where they would just latch onto you and just fucking unwield their issues onto you and shit. And it's not for the weak because that's something that a lot of people wouldn't deal with that. Like, even my own sisters, they I've told them over the years, I was like, "Bro, like, I went through this, that," and they were like, "What the fuck?" Like, I would have never let that happen to myself, right? And it's like, yeah, I know, like, of course, why would you? But I just didn't see it that way because I felt like I don't know, I guess I just naturally felt like I wanted to understand where they were coming from, and maybe if I understood more that I could help more people, it was just like a very natural soul thing. I mean, throughout the years, there's been plenty of people who've piled on to me in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have been I don't wanna say cruel. I feel like people just sometimes project a lot. I feel like on the internet, especially, in real life, people are not ever mean to me, and it's because, you know, I stand up for myself. I have, like, that energy of I'm not gonna let anyone fuck with me, but on the internet, people have said, like, a lot of weird things, and the thing is that you have to understand, for one thing, I'm just gonna say this as a side thing, if you're someone who's on the internet a lot, people on the internet don't know you personally at all. They don't know shit about you, even if they think they do, they don't, because they're not friends with like, they don't know you, bruh. They don't know you. They just see what you who you are from a screen through a screen. They know a version of you, but they don't know you. And there have been a lot of times where people would tell me, I don't know, they would kind of just like get personally, like dead ass personally attacked by something I would say or something I would write. And isn't like too recent. It's honestly decreased a lot throughout the years. And I think it's because I've made myself very clear. But there was a time where people would just say things like, how could you say that if whatever? And I'd be like, hold on a second, wait, like, that's not what I'm saying, and it's also it has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would literally think that I don't even think they would think that I was attacking them because I feel like that's far-fetched. Maybe they just wanted to pick a fight. Maybe they were just releasing their anger, kinda like what you said. But I just remember I would always just be like, "I feel like you're projecting." Like, I would just tell them, like, "I kinda feel like you're not even talking about me right now. Like, what are you saying?" So, yeah, that's besides the point. But no, it also plays into it because the same thing goes for you guys. You know, if you ever overcome or have gone through something like that, you can also always realize that not everything is personal to that extent. Like, if people can be meaner to you because they're upset, it's not because you've done anything wrong. They just have to heal. You know what I'm saying? Has nothing to do with you though. I just want to say that. But okay, I'm gonna read a few more and then Let's get this show on the road. Okay, let's see. OMG real. When I met my BF, it felt like I knew him before I was born. We share a heart. That is so cute. And that's yeah, that's how it's supposed to feel. If it doesn't feel like that, run. Low key. Nah, high key. I'm just gonna be honest. Yeah. If you feel like the person that you're with is not someone that you've known before, reconsider only because there's something greater for you. But if you feel something amazing with them, then always go, but be sure that you feel I just feel like familiarity is a very important thing. And I feel like it's something that you would always feel with the right person, always, no matter what. Like, even if you believe in this stuff or not, you will, for sure. I'm a Hindu and we're really big on reincarnation. That's iconic and that's so cool. And absolutely, yes, exactly from Hinduism. I've learned so many things from studying different religions and things like that. And it's so beautiful to see how they all are intertwined with each other. It's like they're all cousins and they don't even see it. Like they're all distant cousins. They're not even distant, bro. They're cousins and they don't even realize it. Some. But I feel like most people now understand that, honestly, thankfully. Okay. I think a lot of people wanted to shame people who knew from the truth by calling them toxic positivity or saying they were being ruthless by saying, "You choose poverty, just choose abundance." Honestly, do you guys see the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once? Yeah, basically. So, I feel like, yes, a lot of people have, they had like these limitations. I say had because I feel like things are really changing now, thankfully. But I just feel like the limitations that some people have, I understand them and I always have. And I remember I would feel shame, but way before about being so positive because I just felt like some people thought it was like ridiculous. And I just remember thinking, like, how the fuck can y'all think this is crazy? Like, this is the way you're supposed to be. This is how you get things done. This is how you make mountains out of molehills. Literally, bruh. Like, that's how you get it's just how you manifest all. So why be harder about it when you know that you could just ease up a little bit on your ego and pride? You don't have to protect the fact that you want to live in lack because you don't even want to. Just be open minded to the possibilities and things will unravel in a very beautiful way if you let them. So, yeah, absolutely. Yes. So someone said we don't always project them. Sometimes we internalize pain. Absolutely. There's a huge difference. I feel like I feel like not everyone, of course, projects pain because I know I didn't, thankfully. Like I never took my anger out on somebody just because I was feeling like I was going through the worst thing on earth. Unless honestly, like even with siblings, I've had a few moments of doing something like that, but I've never deliberately held on to somebody to like release my pain onto. I feel like I would much rather internalize pain than hurt someone else as a matter. But you should never internalize pain. You should always work through these things regardless. What is your take on Destiny Matrix charts? Honestly, we can talk about that stuff. Maybe I'll make another video about that because I've done like the whole Destiny Matrix charts and I think that they're so cool. There's many there's like so much information on the kind of person that you are based on that. And I feel like all of it ties in together. It's kind of like the Meyer-Briggs personality test kind of thing. I feel like all these things do tie in together, but I feel like that's a little bit different because that's literally a part of your destiny based on, I believe it's your birth chart, or not your birth chart, but the time and birth and all that stuff. So yeah, we could definitely talk about that though. But yes, okay, I'm gonna like answer two more and then I'm gonna head out, my angel babies. Okay. Let me see. All right, second to last question. Can I manifest a perfect job without applying for jobs? I'm so lazy. Honestly, I'm gonna say yes. Like I do. Yes, you can absolutely. I've manifested jobs without applying. And I'm just gonna tell y'all, like, it's something that just happens. You have to have a lot of confidence. If you're gonna choose to manifest in this way, definitely you have to have like a shit ton of confidence because if you're gonna be here like, oh, how is that actually gonna happen for me though? I mean, you're not even believing that it can happen. So why do that to yourself if you know that with the possibility of you letting things just happen, that they could and they will, but it's your choice. So yes, it can happen that way, but you have to be open-minded to the possibilities and how it can happen, but just know that it can anyway. Like anyone can just walk up to you and be like, "Hey, do you want to work here as this perfect job?" Yes, absolutely. I'd be more than happy to. Right? It's basically your call, but you make the decision and you can definitely do it if you want to. Okay. Let me see. Oh, okay, so someone really fast. Okay, so 2 things. Someone said, "I hardly comment now on social media due to so many people misunderstanding me, causing arguments, and being mean. The negativity isn't worth dealing with." I'm gonna tell you, for people who deal with things like that, don't let that was how I used to feel, actually. I used to really much be like, I just used to be like, "Nah, I don't wanna say shit, like, I'm scared, I don't wanna comment, I don't wanna share anything about these kinds of things because what if I get bashed or whatever?" And the thing is that sometimes people will misunderstand you, but also remember that there are a lot of people who will understand you, and if you know you're saying something that's productive and that is meant to help people, it's going to reflect well even if people act like they don't know what you're talking about. It's happened to me a lot. I remember, like, one time on Pinterest, I think one of my tweets went viral on there or something, and someone it was like something that was like, you can I don't remember honestly the tweet, but it was something about taking control over your life. And someone under it commented, they were like, they were trying to make it into something super negative. I remember. They were like, "Oh, but this, that, and that's super harmful and whatever," right? And then someone else was like, "Don't," someone commented in response and said, "What she's saying is clear. Don't try to make something positive into something negative," or something like that. And I appreciated them a lot because that was really nice of them, obviously. I mean, but it was very clear that what I was saying was not meant to be misconstrued in that way. And if some people are going to attempt to misconstrue what you're saying literally because they don't want to face the fact that maybe what you're saying is true in such a great way, maybe they don't want to believe that kind of thing, understand that that's them. That's basically what we were talking about with projection. That's their problem. That's for them to overcome, but don't take it personally, and also remember that your words do matter. So regain your confidence in what you comment. If you feel like you want to leave something positive and helpful for people, have confidence in it. And I promise you, the right people will understand you. They always will. And that's something that I've thankfully learned throughout the years. It's brought me a lot of peace. Okay, last thing. I love robotic affirming and listening to my own affirmations that I record or others. Absolutely. I feel like someone said that they tried robotic affirmations and that it made them feel sick, and someone else said that they love them and that they listen to their own affirmations and things like that, and even with that, I want y'all to remember how important it is to be able to differentiate between what it is that you like and don't like. If you want to robotically affirm constantly, please do that. You feel me? Because I've done it before and it's made me feel very good. I don't do it anymore because I feel like I'm not in that place anymore. Like, I don't really feel the need to, but for those who want to, please feel free and have confidence in it and understand that if this is not something that makes you feel happy genuinely and makes you feel very fulfilled as you are manifesting, then you can always take other measures. You don't ever have to do anything. Okay. You never have to do a specific thing to manifest what you want. It's not as cutthroat as that. It's completely free to what you feel and what is most comfortable to you. But always take it easy with yourself, and to the person who did throw up, please also take it easy with yourself and learn what it is that you want to do with your manifestation language. Like, what is it that makes you feel the most centered as you are manifesting consciously? You know what I'm saying? That's going to give you a lot more confidence in the way that you figure yourself out, which will also give you, again, more confidence in your methods of manifesting if you choose to go down that way. All right, then, guys. Thank you guys for everything. I love you all so freaking much. I'm going figure skating again tomorrow. And I think what I'm going to end up doing, and this is like for anyone who watches this video, I may not repeat this for a while. So I'm going to say it once. Um, okay, so I don't want to compete. I don't want to compete. That's something I've officially come to terms with. I don't like a lot of the new figure skating rules. I love figure skating from like 2010 to 2014, 15, 16. Super beautiful. Una Kim is like one of my favorite figure skaters. She's amazing. Beautiful figure skater, but she's like a classic figure skater. I love and miss the way that figure skating used to be. I don't want to say I miss it because I feel like everything is changing, but I believe that I'm here to help make an additional change in a very helpful way for people like me who genuinely have a passion for figure skating. And what it is that everything was just very different back then. The way that people would skate, the way that their moves were, their techniques, spirals. Now, if you don't know what a spiral is, it's like when you put your leg in the air like this. I can show you really fast, but Basically, now it's very different. There's a lot of different things that they make you do, which it's not like they make you do, but it kind of is. They technically make you because if you don't do those things, then you may not get the points that you want. And that's what it is for people to compete. People want to be able to win basically. And I am not interested in that. I personally don't want to win anything like that. I just don't see myself. I feel like I'm too like I feel like I'm honestly not for that. Like, I just feel like I'm past that, if that makes sense. Like, I just feel like I don't want to be held up to a standard where I'm competing with other women in that sense. It's not about them being women. It's just like I don't want to be, I don't know, I just don't want to be competing with other people like that. I've never been a competitive person. I'm not a competitive person at all. And I just love everyone to be happy. So what I want to do is I want to eventually, as I'm learning right now, I'm learning my axle, thank God. Very happy about that. I'm going to show you really fast. Like what a spiral is. Let's see. This is Unichem. So this is from okay, that's a spiral. So you see, that's like not even really done anymore. Like they don't even really let that happen, which is crazy to me because how could y'all not let that happen? That's like a classic thing, what you're supposed to do in figure skating. But yeah, so what I want to do now is I want to go about figure skating my own classic way. And I want to do that in the same way that is again like classical. I feel like the peak before everything happened in like the two I feel like in recent years, more in like the last 2, 3 years kind of thing. I think it is very cool, but it's not for me. I wanna do things like that, and what I wanna do is I wanna have eventually a choreographer who will help me come up with a program for people. Basically, I wanna perform just to perform, and I want it to be something where I record myself, and it could be on live stream, or it could just be, like, shown for YouTube or for just, like, a group of people, like, a big group of people, but I want it to be for a reason, I want it to be for a purpose. Maybe I'll do it for fundraising or something, but I want to have a routine or a program, and I just want it to be like I'm competing for myself. I want it to be literally like I'm competing in the Olympics, but I'm not in the Olympics. You get me? Like I'm just in my own lane and zone and shit, and I'm just doing my thing, and people see it, and I got my skills, and that's it to help inspire people to make money for fundraising and everything else. I don't know, there's like a whole bunch of different things that we could do, but I'm excited about that and I'm also happy to know now like what I'm going to do, more of an idea because I don't want to compete. So I'm going to hold on to that. And yeah, that's basically it. And I'm also saying that because I don't, I'm not going to let anyone make me feel like I have to. No one has made me feel that way, but that's genuine. Honestly, like when you're a figure skater, that's basically what they're aiming you for. It's very rare. I mean, it's not very rare that someone gets into it just for fun and they stay consistently just for fun. It's very common, but if you have a really good coach, they expect you to go places. Like they're not going to just sit back and that's how a lot of them are, at least. A lot of them are just not they're not gonna want to just do nothing with your talent, do nothing. But that's not the thing, is that it shouldn't be that you're not doing anything because it's not what you're doing. You're still performing and being amazing, but you can still do it in your own way. So whatever. We'll see, guys. But all right. May God bless you always. Thank you guys for everything. I will see y'all this Thursday for another live video. And I will also maybe show you guys some more highlights, excuse me, on figure skating and things like that. I took let me see if I have like any videos. I mean, I did a Lutz today. I could show you guys. I liked my entrance a lot. I'll show you guys in slow-mo. So I went like, if I could show you. And then okay, so I did this new entrance, and that's something. You see? So I recently got back into holding on to what's it called? Like this new technique, right? One thing I don't like, well, this was only one Lutz I did today. It was just one, but one thing I don't like personally is when you jump and you can see how my leg is next to it. No, like the leg should be in front. So the leg should be crossing in front of my other leg. So tomorrow I'm just gonna work on that and like it'll be fine, like every other jump. But yeah, guys. All right. I love you all so very freaking much. Thank you guys for everything that y'all do. Let me see if there's anything else I could show you guys. I feel like not really, honestly. I feel like I mean, I'm basically doing my what's it called? Yeah, I'm basically like I finally gotten into like taught myself how to do that, thank God. But all right. I love you guys so much. God bless you guys for everything. I'll see y'all very soon. We'll speak. Thank you guys. And ask more questions if y'all want for Thursday, whatever it is, law of assumption based or anything else. I love you guys. Thank you. And have an amazing night. I'm intending nothing but the best for you always. Sending y'all all the positive energy in the entire world and universe, seriously. And that everything turns out as blessed as you know that it can be, like it's supposed to be. Thank you guys for everything. And I love y'all. Michelle Kwan's really good. Oh my God. I love you guys. Bye. Take care. Peace.